Hi everyone, Tracy DW here. Inspired by American Black History Month, Akieba Ade Sebo, a Special Projects Officer at the Greater London Council, organised the very first Black History Month here in the UK. Celebrated in October from 1987 and each and every October ever since, Black History Month has aimed to address the lack of awareness and the identity crisis faced by Black and global majority children and young people in the UK by showcasing the contributions of Black people to history and culture. Just over 3 decades later, the tragic death of George Floyd and the campaigns of activists such as Black Lives Matter inspired organisers of the UK movement, the Black Curriculum, to collect signatures for an open letter which gained support for Black history to become a more formalised curriculum in schools across the UK. The open letter was then presented to the then Education Secretary Gavin Williamson, and founders of the Black Curriculum requested a response by Windrush Day on the 22nd of June, as well as a face-to-face meeting. So, should the teaching of Black history be compulsory in UK schools? Do we need a Black history curriculum? This is a complex question, and there are good arguments both for and against, with practical challenges and important trade-offs. But rather than asking, should there be a Black curriculum or should a Black history curriculum be compulsory, better questions could be, what are the key reasons for having a Black history curriculum in UK primary and secondary schools? What are the objections or difficulties to implementing it? And where might the balance lie in what a Black curriculum could look like in reality? Some of the main arguments for a Black history curriculum are the promotion of inclusion, representation, identity and belonging for children from Black and global majority backgrounds who may feel more seen, valued and affirmed if their histories and contributions are taught, not as an extra, but integrated into what everyone learns. Studies and accounts suggest that when pupils see themselves in the curriculum, it improves engagement and well-being. Another argument for a Black history curriculum is to achieve or work towards building accuracy and completeness of history, as British history is currently often told in ways that emphasise certain narratives, such as Empire, Industrial Revolution and World War II, without fully integrating the histories of non-white people, colonialism, migration, slavery and their aftermaths. These are vital phenomena which, without them, pupils will have gaps in their learning and understanding of how modern Britain has been shaped. A Black history curriculum could also help to combat racism, stereotypes and prejudice by challenging myths, stereotypes and the idea that people from Black and global majority backgrounds are other or marginal. It can promote empathy, understanding and reduce racial prejudice. It can also support and foster social cohesion and belonging for all, as even for children who are not Black, studying about events such as migration, diversity, cultural change and their impact and legacies could provide a fuller and more honest history which may reduce us versus them attitudes and nurture a greater understanding of British society and culture today. In a democracy, citizens should understand the realities, including the difficult ones, of their nation's past. Learning about exploitation and injustice in anyone's history is essential for developing the critical thinking needed to become responsible, well balanced, and empathetic when exploring catalysts, patterns, and repercussions in experiences throughout human existence, and be able to relate these to human nature. Over the last decade, the UK's primary and secondary curriculum has sought to embody this as an ethos through the promotion of enterprise skills, well-being, and British values. A curriculum such as this could be a duty to truth and education for citizenship. On the other hand, some of the concerns about a formalised and compulsory Black history curriculum are about curriculum space and overload. As there is a lot already in the national curriculum, teachers will say that there is limited time to teach everything. Adding new mandatory content means deprioritising something else, unless more time and resources are found. There are also concerns about teacher capacity, training, and resources, as some teachers feel underprepared, lack confidence, or lack sufficient knowledge and quality teaching materials. Without training, mandatory content may be taught poorly, tokenistically, or even avoided. Surveys show that many teachers report lacking confidence in teaching Black history or cultural diversity. A lack of training, capacity, and resources also often leads to a risk of oversimplification or a perpetuation of victim narratives, where there are concerns that Black history could be taught in a way that emphasises only suffering and oppression, which might make Black and global majority students feel pity, shame, or being portrayed as always victims. People see making this kind of history mandatory as politically charged or polarising due to concerns about impartiality, white guilt, or about how colonialism and empire are framed, and also how much weight should actually be given to a range of different perspectives that are either critical and or celebratory of historical events and human actions. And finally, and possibly the greatest challenge to a national Black history curriculum is its implementation in diverse contexts. Schools already play a significant role in teaching children about the importance of having respect and tolerance for all cultures, but differ a lot due to their settings, contexts, and demographics. We have rural and urban settings, as well as settings with high and low global majority demographics. There is also the need to consider varying levels of resource and teacher background. A one-size-fits-all mandate might be hard to implement fairly. Though not the only factor, some schools may lack access to diverse staff or to materials. There may also be resistance from parents or local communities, depending on beliefs or opinions. In 2022, an art education project backed by Turner Prize nominated artist Yinka Shoniberi looked at transforming how Britain understands its role in the transatlantic slave trade. We have also had the World Reimagined project with 100 globe-shaped sculptures created by well-known community-based artists. These were erected in cities across the UK in the summer of 2022, with its culmination in London's Trafalgar Square. But what is currently happening? Some critics say Black history should be taught as part of British history rather than as something separate. But what could this look like? There has been an outward move and an evolution beyond Black History Month towards national and community initiatives which have worked to encourage agency amongst global majority groups to celebrate their achievements, resistance, culture and contributions. This could be the basis for the resourcing, training and support that is so much needed for teaching practitioners where they can actually witness education in action. And surveys show strong support amongst teachers and the public for a more inclusive curriculum. And though many teachers cite lack of confidence or resources, there is recognition in government of the issue. And as a result, there have been curriculum reviews, model syllabuses, and so on. But these have been criticised by some as too slow and not going far enough. If you liked this podcast, then stay on this listening platform, click the subscribe button and check out my other episodes related to this one, such as Let's Go for a Walk, parts 1 and 2, and Let's Talk About the Walk from the 2nd season. And don't forget what I call the heart and soul of the Stories to be Told movement, my stories or poetic narratives, Caribbean Wind, Caribbean Rush, Knights at the Round Table, the Berlin Conference 1884, and Gone with the Wind, Macmillan's Speech for Change. These are all available on the website in paperback, on Amazon in Kindle format, and in ebook format at Apple Books and all other digital platforms. And also the publication of the latest 4 titles. Now, if you want to find out more, just visit storiestobetold.com and check out the learning platforms for The Journey's End, Giving Back Hong Kong, Bite from the Big Apple, A Story for New York, Hope for Zimbabwe, Arise the Phoenix, and A Story for South Africa. And we're marking this the first episode of the 6th season with a special shout out and thank you to Vineet and the entire team at Million Podcasts. We are making an announcement that Stories to be Told, the podcast series, has been recognised as one of the top 10 British Empire podcasts on the web by the Million Podcast panel. And we are also featured in their top 25 history teacher podcasts and top 60 history podcasts for students. Just check out the link in the show notes. And if you'd like to sign up to my email list, just visit the website where you can opt in and receive your free samples of my first 4 titles. And finally, remember that you can also send me an audio message on the SpeakPipe link, which is also in the show notes, so don't be a stranger. Feel free to like, follow and share us on social media when you visit the website. Just click onto whichever social media link you would like to follow us on. And, as always, it is a pleasure and a privilege to share my learning journey with you in this podcast series, and I encourage you to either begin or continue your own. History is a matter of fact or perspective. I'm Tracy DW and this is a Stories to be Told podcast. Stay safe, stay well, stay blessed. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next page. much.